Yo, yo, good morning, good morning. I'm gonna try to do this in one quick take. I don't want to spend too much time. So, the trade that we took the other day, um, as you guys remember, I was waiting for this 4 hour order block to get retested. I said that this line right here, where's my magnet? Um, I called this the Forshorsky line. I said that there's no way that this low remains untapped. We took a long based off this sweep right here on Sunday, December 14th. We wrote it up to around 90,000, closed the rest out at break even, and then we got the trade that we ultimately were waiting for about 2 or 3 weeks now. So um, I really like I generally like midpoints of order blocks, especially when they're this big. This one happens to be, a 3.5% order block here on Bitcoin. The reason I like this level was, like I mentioned last time, clearly Bitcoin is putting in, um, you know, higher highs and higher lows. And I said that a proper flush down here would still be a higher low relative to the previous one, and it would be an area that makes sense for us to get a retest. So that's exactly what happened. We took the trade. I closed a lot of it. As I updated earlier, I said that this level here, around 90K, should act as resistance. We're seeing that right now. It's confluent with Monday's high. We'll get into that in a minute. But overall, we're up about 4R that we locked in on this trade. I don't know what you did with it, but that's what I did. I'm up 4R on this trade, so I'm feeling good about that. Now we're seeing it unfold. I'm not sure why we got this candle, right? It's very aggressive. Again, right into resistance here. There's this level, there's a lot of buying and selling here, and bulls and bears couldn't figure out what the fuck goes on until bears won. And now it seems that bulls don't really have the juice to, at least yet break through this level. So now you can see how this level is an area that makes sense for us to take some profit, and that's what we did. Now, what do we look for next, right? First and foremost, I want to look at the daily because as far as like the Monday's range trade goes, um, it's playing out like very, very well so far. One of the homies is in that trade, so that's excellent. I didn't get it. I didn't get into it myself. So you have Monday's high here um, at around 90,000, and then Monday's low, right? So you already know the strategy. You wait for one of these to get ran, and then you either long or short, depending on um, the direction of the trade. And so uh, the thing is, with this one specifically, you have to be pretty quick. If you want to wait for an hourly close below, like the trade has already played out for the most part, right? I don't think this goes much lower than like 80, 88. I think that any level, any pullback here is probably going to pull back into this area before continuing higher. I don't see a reason why we should break below these lows. Again, overall high time frame and at this point low time frame market structure is to the upside. There clearly is, and there have been consistently um, market structure breaks to the upside. You have this one right here, just as of an hour ago. I mentioned this one right here. If you have this high, you got to close here, and then you had a retest, and then you had, a series of closes above. So more market structure breaks. I still think that objectively, we should be aiming for higher prices. As Confluence, Twitter is usually wrong. I see a lot of bearish tweets. I actually spent some time on Twitter recently, and I see a lot of people who are like, "Oh, we have to go into the 70s, blah blah blah." Michael Saylor's buys aren't doing anything more anymore. He buys the top, da da. Da. That's fine. But objectively, if you just don't know what this is, if you don't know that Michael Saylor exists, you don't know that this is the Bitcoin chart, objectively, right? Just clear all this out. First of all, this is a range between down here at 80K and 95K, right? This is just a range, okay? So right now, excuse me, we're kind of just fucking around, okay? So until we get a definitive break of this range. Like beating 95K opens up the door to, a potential push back into the previous range. What a mess. I came unprepared, but easy fix. So you see how this in itself, and we talked about this in one of the last videos, this in itself is a range between 100K to all-time high. So we have some work to do until we can reclaim this level, right? What I'm about to draw is not necessarily how it's going to play out, but we got to reclaim this before we can talk about, prices into the six figures on Bitcoin. So for now, it's been, I think, easier to play the low time frame. Sweeps have been working really well. Um, Retests of consolidation areas have been working pretty well. And yeah, sweeps have been working really, really, really well. Like this is about to put in a 12-hour, 4-hour, whatever, all the sweeps in the world. There's still 8 hours until the 12-hour close, but you understand what I mean. Whoever took the short on the Monday's range is, fucking printing right now. I'm also very happy to have closed my position for the most part, above 90,000, so that feels good. Again, I think this area is where you look to get long. Clearly, it's extremely volatile. If you look at like the fucking 2 minute chart, this is insane, right? In a span of, 20 minutes, Bitcoin went up 4%, only for it to drop back another 2.5% in about 30 minutes, right? So extremely volatile right now. I wouldn't mess around too much. Lately, trades have been that way, right? Where swings aren't really to be had. But what you can have is just these quick in and out, get your money and get the fuck out. Um, I don't know when we're going to start trending again. But again, for now, we're very much sideways, right? Compare this price action of going in and out, up and down, to this price action, which is just a brutal and continuous sell-off. Every consolidation leads in a leg lower, right? Every hint of maybe some, oh, we're putting in higher highs. Is this low gonna hold? No. Is this low gonna hold? No. And it just continues to sell off. We have sort of stepped away from that, in my opinion, and now we're finally starting to put in some market structure that even on the high time frame could look like it makes sense for some a turnaround in price. So just to wrap up, recap some of the things. I think this area between 85 and 88, um, I don't think that this low will break. I think that the 85K low will hold, especially relative to this one. It would make the chart look like it makes sense, and also it would make the chart look good. So I think if we get any sort of pullbacks into this area, especially back into this gray box beneath 86 and a half, I think that your risk is defined, right? Whether you want to put your stop below the 85K low, or if you want to put your stop a lot safer at 83.5, or if you want to take a very long swing trade, I don't recommend it in this environment, but you can always put your stop down here at 80,000. I just don't think that the risk reward will make sense on most longs for that. In this area at least. If we break down below 83.5, then that opens up the door for you to, put your stop way below, because you'll get a much better entry. So that's it. Really not too much to update. If you took the trade with me, congratulations. I think it was a good one. It didn't look great for a while, but I really liked both these retests, just to give you an idea of how clean this really looks, right? Like you have this area of consolidation. We got one drive and then a push up, and then the second retest gave us the real move, in my eyes, up until this resistance, right? And you have to pay attention, because the market will take away your P&L before you even realize it. Like I said, you were up, and then a few minutes later, you were back down, right? So, yeah, that's it for now. Um, I'll obviously update you guys in the Telegram. There's really not too much to discuss. I feel like I kind of said a lot of the same thing over and over. I'll be doing that. But anyway, that's all I've got for you guys. Have a beautiful Wednesday. Enjoy your day. Enjoy the rest of your week. I think for the most part, we took the trade of the week. I'm not really looking forward to do too much into the weekend. So that's all I got. I wish you a beautiful day. Enjoy. live life, kiss your fucking family, and I'll talk to you guys on the next one. Bye.